The silence after her insult was deafening. You could hear the clink of a fork against porcelain, the faint hum of the air conditioner, and my heartbeat drumming like a war march. But I didn't say a word. Not yet. You see, I've learned that sometimes silence is louder than anger. And that night, I decided to let my son's fiancée, Chloe, hang herself with her own arrogance. Dinner had ended awkwardly. My son, Daniel, didn't notice the little French dagger she'd slipped into the conversation. Il est pathétique, ce vieux. Toujours à se mêler de ce qui ne le regarde pas, translation? He's pathetic, that old man. Always meddling in things that don't concern him. She said it with a sweet smile, right in front of me, convinced I couldn't understand. I chuckled quietly, took another sip of wine, and pretended to be none the wiser. But I was already planning my next move. The next morning, the house was quiet. My son was at work, and Chloe came down to the kitchen wearing one of his shirts, her blonde hair in a messy bun, looking every bit the picture of casual arrogance. "Good morning, George," she said politely, too politely. I smiled. "Good morning, mademoiselle. Sleep well?" She froze, just for a second, then recovered quickly. Yes, of course. Why do you ask?" "Oh, nothing," I said, stirring my tea. "Just wanted to make sure you rested after such a dramatic dinner." Her eyes narrowed slightly, but she said nothing. Later that day, Daniel asked me if I'd help him plan the wine list for their upcoming engagement party. I agreed, on one condition: I'd host a little tasting at my home, and Chloe would help. She reluctantly agreed, though I could see she didn't enjoy spending time with me. When she arrived, she was wearing designer heels and a smug grin. "Ready to learn something about French wine, George?" "Oh, I think you'll be the one learning something today, ma chère," I said softly. Her smile faltered. She didn't respond. We sat in the living room, glasses lined up neatly, bottles opened. I poured the first one, a Bordeaux. As she swirled it delicately, I spoke, in perfect, fluent French. "Le vin est comme la vérité, Chloé. Il faut savoir quand le savourer et quand le cracher. Wine is like the truth, Chloé. You must know when to savor it, and when to spit it out." Her hand trembled slightly. You speak French?" she stammered. "Oh, fluently," I replied, smiling. "Lived in Paris for 12 years, worked with the French embassy. Married a French woman, actually, Daniel's mother." Her face drained of color. I leaned forward, my tone now calm but razor-sharp. "Et maintenant, ma chère, je comprends parfaitement quand on m'insulte à table. And now, my dear, I understand perfectly when I'm insulted at the table." She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came. "Mr. Bennet, I didn't mean—" "Oh, but you did," I interrupted gently. "You meant every word. And that's fine. People often reveal who they are when they think no one's listening." I stood up, took her glass, and refilled it. "Let's drink to honesty, shall we?" She didn't touch her glass, just sat there, her pride deflating like a balloon in slow motion. 2 weeks later, the engagement party was held at my estate. Elegant, refined, and full of people Chloe was clearly trying to impress. She moved from guest to guest with that polished charm of hers, but every time our eyes met, she looked away. Halfway through the evening, Daniel clinked his glass for attention. "I want to thank my father for helping us plan this beautiful evening," he said proudly. Chloe forced a smile beside him. "Oh, it was nothing," I said. "I only hope my small contribution helps start your marriage on a foundation of truth." Several heads turned at that. Chloe's knuckles whitened around her champagne flute. Later that night, as guests mingled on the terrace, one of Daniel's colleagues approached me. "Mr. Bennet," he said quietly, "I didn't know you spoke French. You must have understood everything Chloe said at dinner the other night." I looked at him. "Ah, so you were there?" He nodded, embarrassed. "She didn't just insult you, sir. She called your son naive. Said she only stayed with him for his family's name." My chest tightened. Not from anger this time, but sorrow. Daniel had inherited his mother's kindness. and it broke me to think it might be wasted on someone so shallow. The next morning, I invited Daniel for breakfast, just him and me. We sat on the patio, the sun warming the tablecloth, a pot of coffee between us. "Son," I began, "do you love her?" He smiled faintly. "I do, Dad. She's complicated, but I think she means well." I sighed. "Then promise me something. Before you marry her, make sure you know who she truly is. Don't just look at the surface. Listen to what she says when she thinks no one's listening." He frowned. "What do you mean?" I slid my phone across the table. I had recorded that fateful dinner, not to expose her, but to remember her words correctly. He pressed play. The color drained from his face as Chloé's voice filled the air. "Il est pathétique, ce vieux. Toujours à se mêler de ce qui ne le regarde pas." And then laughter. Her laughter. When the audio ended, he just sat there, speechless. That evening, Chloé arrived, smiling as always. "Daniel, darling, are we still on for dinner at—" He cut her off. "How long, Chloé?" Her face fell. "What? How long have you been pretending?" His voice trembled. "Was any of it real?" She stammered, tried to play it off, but Daniel wasn't the naive man she thought he was. He took off the engagement ring and set it on the table. "It's over," he said softly. "My father may be old, but he's never been pathetic. You, on the other hand." He didn't finish. He didn't have to. Weeks passed. The house was quiet again. Daniel took some time off work, and we spent our evenings walking the garden, talking about life, love, and learning the hard way who people really are. One evening, he turned to me and said, "Dad, how did you stay so calm that night?" I smiled. "Because, son, people reveal their character in small moments. And when they do, you don't need to shout. You just need to listen." He nodded, understanding now. As for me, I poured myself another glass of Bordeaux, raised it to the empty chair across the table, and whispered to the memory of my late wife in French, "Tu avais raison, mon amour. La vérité trouve toujours son chemin. You were right, my love. The truth always finds its way." And that night, for the first time in a long while, I slept